I explained that as a school, one of our core values is love. And love really does underpin everything we do here. But I want to be clear that this is not about a child doing or getting it what they want all the time. Sometimes actually love is, yes, gentleness and kindness, but sometimes it's also about insisting that actually you give me your very best work and that actually you are honest about what happened in this particular situation. So we like to talk at East Witchel about something that we call the idea of tough love. Tough love is better. One day you will not be around, and we are preparing our children for a world that we don't actually know what it's going to look like yet when you are not around. Now that's not to say that we should be unkind or let children get hurt or be unsafe, but we must allow them to make mistakes so that they can grow and become stronger because of those mistakes. The best love is actually that tough love that prepares them for the real world. So yes, kind and warm and caring with all our hearts, but it's also about having those high expectations. And that's how we learn to be a well-balanced human being, by allowing life to teach us things. I've got a gorgeous video that I'd like to share with you.
All fade. 미tun이야. 아유, 오케이. 오케이. 뭐?
So the video is gorgeous. You saw, it's actually a little boy in Brazil, I believe, and that's his father in the photo. Now it would have been very easy and tempting to say, oh gosh, don't do it anymore, you're going to hurt yourself, you know. But what I want you to think about is that child was so determined and carried on. They had support and encouragement from an adult there. And I just want you to imagine for a moment how that child felt when they managed to overcome that obstacle, how they felt inside. So making mistakes and allowing that to happen in a supportive way actually builds confidence. And confidence is what enables us all to be able to, you know, go to a job interviewing and get that job. Confidence is so important. So just be really, really careful of not putting your child in a bubble, not being overprotective and stopping them from making mistakes, or perhaps fighting their battles for them. It's part of life that they've got to learn to deal with different situations. And you know, there can be that temptation because they're young. There can be that temptation to think, oh, they're too little though, I need to step in. But actually, the younger they are in many ways, the faster that they learn. Children are like little sponges, and they really do learn very, very quickly and adapt. Many of you may have seen this image. It's one of my favourites, and you know, if you think of this, you know, this iceberg here, this idea, you know, at the top here we've got a child who's been really, really successful, but of course underneath that there's lots of discipline, lots of disappointment, lots of failure, lots of persistence. So it's about how we teach our children to handle those things, and that it's okay. When you're learning something new for the first time, it is really hard, you know, and it can be disappointing and make you feel that sort of despair, but it's, you know, get up, try again, we can do it. So just beware of putting your child in a bubble, because actually it can do more harm, it can limit their learning. Now, there are two last things I'd like to talk to you about. The first is attendance and timekeeping. And this links really, really closely with the idea that we've been talking about already of tough love. We expect all children at East Mitchell Primary School to be on time every single day and in school, unless they're genuinely unwell, of course. And this comes from the fact that we really, really care, and we know that it makes a difference. I can tell you personally from 20 years of teaching experience that the children who come to school, even when it's their birthday, or even when perhaps they had a bit of a late night, or they didn't sleep well, or they're feeling a bit under the weather, those are the children who develop those really good habits for life. And it really pays dividends when your child goes to secondary school and you might be struggling to get them in because they've developed those good habits from a young age. It also helps, when they go on into the workplace, they're dedicated, committed, they've developed that mental toughness. I've seen it time and time again. It builds stamina and reliability, commitment, all of those wonderful values that really help them later on in life. And I've got a couple of graphs here because I know that some of you may be thinking, if you get something like 90%, for example, in a test, that sounds really quite good and quite impressive. But in terms of actual attendance, that actually represents over the child's time with us, that actually represents 171 days of lost learning time, which is half a year, and it really does add up cumulatively. Not being in school can really affect children's academic progress, obviously, but it also affects their confidence and their friendships. So if you can work with us together and we establish those good habits together, I promise you that it will pay off. And the same, if I go on to the next slide, you can see a little bit about being late. You might think, oh, it's only 5 minutes or it's only 10 minutes, but you can see here the graph shows clearly, like cumulatively over their primary school career, it's actually a lot of lost learning time. One of the things that we do here is we do try and use every minute. So, from the moment they walk in the door, they are engaged and doing things and learning. So it's a really important time. And it also sets them up for the day. If they're here on time, they're meeting and greeting their friends and they're coming in with everyone else. If you're walking into a room late, you'll have known that yourself. If ever you've come to something like this, a presentation like this or something, and you're late, you kind of feel a little bit awkward and a bit less confident. So coming in on time really does make a difference. If you could support us, that would be brilliant. Thank you. Okay, final, last word. If I can give a top tip to you all, we live in this wonderful age of technology, and it is both a blessing and a curse. Genuinely, I'd like to give you a warning here. Technology has been shown to be highly addictive. There's a lot of studies on the human brain that have shown this time and time again. And young children's brains in particular are highly susceptible to this. And if you allow this screen time, particularly unsupervised screen time from a very young age, it's virtually impossible to manage when your child becomes a teenager. And I know from having my own teenagers, but also many friends of my secondary colleagues, some children are regularly up till 3 or 4 in the morning because their phones are in their bedrooms and they're pinging messages all the time. That cumulative effect on their sleep and well-being, it's just really, really not good. And teenagers, they will sneak their phones into their bedrooms. So it comes back to what I was saying before. If we can get the good patterns in when the children are young, it will save you so much heartache down the line. So if you can avoid a mobile device, then I would recommend that you do. If you can't, and I do understand the pressures, particularly where there may be older siblings, etc., then if you have one, firstly I would say never ever allow it in the bedroom. It's just a rule and then it becomes a norm. Never allow it in the bedroom. Have an honest conversation with your child about how addictive screen time can be, and set timer limits so that your child knows what time they've got every day, and do not go over that time, never breach that time. And if you teach them why you need to do that and you follow through with it, hopefully that habit will stick when they're secondary. quite powerful images here. You know, children, many studies are saying that children are not playing outside like this young man with his tennis racket as much because they're on their screens. And of course the impact that it can have on family time when parents are surfing on their phone, and I know we're all guilty of it, I do understand, but just be mindful of those powerful images because it really does make a difference. So, here's a summary of the main points for you from today. I'm sorry that the Senko and the family support worker aren't here, but we're a little team around the school who will help and support you along this journey. Our promise to you is that we will care for and love your children, and we will work tirelessly to do our very best for them, and we will work with you to make this a wonderful primary experience. Here are your top tips. I'll make sure that you've got a copy of the PowerPoint. Thank you so much for coming, and I'm sorry you're not here personally. Stay safe and well all.